So this property, we have owners that have renovated a massive renovation, and there are damp issues. And obviously there's some discussion with builders trying to solve the problem, but they're also about to go away. So they're going to be renting the place out. The first one I'm going to deal with, and I'd say probably the most complex, is the one by the front door. It's in the hall. It is showing a high damp meter reading up at the top, not lower down. Most of the walls have been dry lined. This is looking through a thermal imaging camera where we see the blue is where this is cold. It can be from water evaporating, or it can be because the cold causes condensation. Looking on top of the roof, and from now on, I'll leave you with this survey. So this is above one of the damp zones, and there's nothing majorly defective. I don't particularly like the water to remain in there, but if it was dripping through, it wouldn't be sitting in there. The extractor fan in the bathroom isn't working properly. It should be showing 15, it's only showing 3.1 litres a second. Some simple improvements to all the fans. I will extend the overrun by just twisting this clockwise. Gently, don't want to push it. I encourage as many people as possible to become damp surveyors. The more experts we have in the field, the better the properties will be. And as time goes by, so issues become more complex. You can see with the ducting that it's going down before it comes out, and I can feel there's way too much of it. So we can probably take a load off. It should be 90% taut. So this is the fan's potential, and I got to 11. It's the fan's potential. So I've managed to get a metre of excess ducting out. I think there's still more, but I don't want to damage it, so I'll cut it at that point. So I'm just cutting it here. So it's actually only marginally better. It suggests to me that there's something wrong with the pipe, the ducting. I'll have a look to see whether it's actually coming out from above. Bit of a challenge, but I was able to get to the ducting above. What I assume is the ducting, but of course you'll have to ask your builder. But absolutely nothing was coming out. I like to solve problems as I go along, and I'm just going to take the top off this. There you go. It was a two-handed job, so there we go. And very simple thing to do for every fan is change the default setting. It should always be half an hour. So all you need to do is turn that clockwise, and then especially if you're renting the place out, you want to have it set up properly, because tenants will never look after it. I'll give it a bit of a clean and see if we can improve it. Increase the overrun and cleaned it out. Ideally it should be 15 litres a second, but obviously the faster it is, the noisier it is, so manufacturers tend to dampen it down again a bit too. And should be adequate for renting. It's good to check that this door doesn't close easily. It's good to check the gap is enough. So you want to don't impede the flow there. So about half to 1 centimetre. So in this property, the niche light comes on and there's lots of sunlight without needing to turn the lights on. So therefore the extractor fan comes on. Sorry, the extractor fan doesn't come on unless what you can do is you can attach the sensor, you can trigger the fan from the sensor. It's what I do myself. Notice these trickle vents were closed. I'll open them. Can't test the fan out outside easily, so what I'm going to do is just use a bit of paper and just see whether it's sucking up okay. sucking out there, but not there. So it's difficult to tell, but I wouldn't say it's particularly great, but it's like that. So I say this shelving system is causing a problem with the fan. So the air is being sucked from above there, so it's coming in all directions rather than necessarily above. So this is dry lined. I'm knocking the wall and finding it. So there's some dampness around there, and the reason why is because you've got water from the heating system will get cold when the heating system isn't used, so you've got a risk of condensation. But around the radiator, you've got the cold water pipe coming in, so if there's any excess humidity, you'll find that it's condensing around the radiator pipe until the radiator pipe is, well, it's not on at the moment, but I don't know, maybe it's kept off this time of year. So I have had a good look on the outside there, but I see no examples of penetrating damp. If you have penetrating damp here, you'd see a brown stain, and there is no brown stain. And although, you know, I can't speak for the external material, it doesn't look damaged, and if it were damaged, you'll see a brown stain, and it would only be in one place. You wouldn't have it the whole way along there. And I see examples of condensation dribble marks the whole way along there, and particularly in the cold areas. And I've got a thermal insulating camera which I've been running, and it highlights where the heat loss is. It causes thermal bridging, which isn't so much a defect as a vulnerability. The defect is in the ventilation, the excess internal vapour levels. You always need to keep the vapour as measured by degree centigrade as a dew point. You want to keep it down below the external temperature at all times. I'll detail that more in the report, but it's really difficult when you have occupiers that you know are rented out or you've got no control over. But again, I'll detail that in a sec. But the ground floor fan does not appear to be ducted out. Now, the most obvious place that it was exiting from is just next to the above bathroom, and I tested it and there's no vapour coming out of there. I showed you that the fan itself isn't running quickly. I improved it. I should have doubled the speed roughly by my improvements, but there was no increase in speed, no discernible increase in speed or marginal, which suggests to me that it's just you get some background disturbance when the fan blades are moving, even if there's no through flow, no connection. It's just blowing air around essentially. I've improved the fans upstairs. I've opened some of the trickle vents, but you'll probably want to open more of them. And when renting it out, so key thing is to try and solve this problem, and I'm going to put forward solutions, but I think you're going to need to speak to your builders that installed it to find out exactly where it went, and it's really for them to either prove that it is working properly or to resolve it, to fix it. If they refuse to... The extractor fan, the ducting, it's specifically the ducting rather than the fan itself. The fan is working, it's just the ducting that doesn't appear to be going out. So it's just blowing into the internal void, essentially. You've got additional risks. You've got laundry drying internally without dehumidifier. So get yourselves a 20 litre plus dehumidifier and leave it for the tenants, and make it a requirement of their contract, their AST, to use a dehumidifier whenever drying clothes and whenever leaving the property for long periods unattended, to use the kitchen extractor fan. The kitchen extractor fan is not ideally situated just above a shelf that reduces its benefit.
We designed the kitchen and all that. When they fitted it, we were like, oh, this doesn't work.
Okay. Well, and then I would discourage tenants from using the downstairs bathroom until the fan's fixed, because the upstairs bathrooms, I've improved them. I've increased the timer to 30 minutes, which is what they should have. You want to make sure the tenants always keep the doors closed wherever you know, apart from accessing the bathroom, but after a shower until the place is dry, because you want the vapour to go out.
Yeah.
Vapour moves through diffusion like smoke. If somebody was smoking in the bathroom, even with the fan on, but with the door open, you'd soon smell it around the house. But with the door closed, then the vapour is going to go out. I've checked under the doors that they're fine. There's enough of a gap.
Yeah.
And those are the key things, but also monitoring. So data loggers is useful. You can also get Wi-Fi connected data loggers.
Okay.
So you can monitor it wherever you are in the world.
Okay.
But I would encourage, I'm a believer that tenants, if they're empowered, will do the right thing. But it's the lack of information, lack of knowledge that is the issue. If they can see that the humidity, so I'm going to encourage you to get humidity meter, like I'll show it in film, like this one. This one isn't working at the moment, but like this one, it shows the dew point in it. And the dew point, you always want to keep below the outside temperature. If it goes above it, you have a risk of mould and condensation.
Okay.
So very simple rule. It's called Dew's law, and I'll put more in the link in the report.
Okay. Ever since we've moved in, we always find you might have seen some of the windows, they get a lot of condensation. Is that
On the inside?
Is that linked to everything that's
Yes, that demonstrates the.
Okay, so we've always wondered why they're brand new windows and we just struggle with condensation. But
because the vapour isn't going out.
Yeah, okay.
And despite it being quite warm here, internally,
yeah,
you know, it's September and you've obviously got the heating on, but you're still struggling with issues.
Yeah.
But it's effectively, it's a form of, well, I was going to use suffocation, but it's insufficient ventilation, simply.
Right.
Downstairs bathroom, I wouldn't use it in the short term until it's sorted out. Okay. It's a lovely bathroom.
Yeah.
But
and when you say sorting it,
until the vapour is being extracted through the fan.
So what sort of procedure does that include? Does that include like pulling the bathroom apart, or is that something?
No, I think you'll have to ask your builders or get the architect's design to find out where the vapour was supposed to go. But I think that bathroom's fine. I mean, as in, I don't think it will be where the issue is. I think it's the wall behind and somewhere it's linking it up. Maybe even behind here somewhere. I don't know. I know it's here, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it may even be through here. But you may need to open up some plasterboard. But it's relatively easy to put back again and seal up and paint. So you wouldn't. It's not major. It shouldn't be major building work.
Right. Okay.
So just in summary, there are a number of damp issues that were identified. I think I covered all of them in the survey. I'll follow up with a written report and it will have more details. So thank you very much again. Please like and subscribe. See all the videos that I cover all of these points in different detail, and tell friends and family about it. Okay, thanks.